Hello, my sweet and precious students. Welcome back. This is my pre-algebra class, lesson 43. We're talking algebra 1/2 from the Saxon book. We are going to be talking today about multiplying mixed numbers. So if you're in my class, you need to take a moment to pull out your notes and make sure that you are copying these down. Example number 1, 4 1/3 times half the battle is copying the problem down right. All right, so when we were doing addition and subtraction, I showed you how you can add and subtract without needing to turn things into an improper fraction. Doesn't work for multiplication. We gotta do this. So we gotta turn these all into improper fractions. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 3, times 6 over 5. Now, you could multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom, but I highly advise that you cross cancel first. Divide this by 3. This is 2 times 3, right? So we can cancel out that 3. We always have a 1 left over, not a 0. If we cancel out a 3 here, we got to cancel out a 3 here. Now, upstairs, 13 is prime. I can't break that down. 5 is prime. I can't break that down. So what I have is 13 times 2, which gives me 26 over 5 times 1, which is 5. There's your answer. There is your answer. Let's take a look at the next one, example number 2. All right, so my book here. I just want to make sure I don't accidentally stop recording because that would be my luck. All right, so for example number 2, we have, this is my knee. I like sit with my legs underneath me, and I'm always like, oh, look, big thing right there. All right, so 2 1/4 times 3 1/3 times 5 1/12. So we've got to convert all these guys into mixed numbers. There are mixed numbers, improper fractions. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, 9 over 4. Times, I jump between the times and the x. I think this is easier because we start to use variables and then it gets confusing. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, so 10 over 3, right? Because we keep our denominator. Times 12 times 5 is 60, plus 1 is 61 over 12. All right, so on this guy, I know that I can break this down to be 3 times 3, right? And I know I can break this down to be 2 times 5. Oh, and this can be 2 times 6, right? And we know 6 is actually 3 times 2. Okay, so let's see if I can cancel things out now. I got a 3 upstairs, a 3 downstairs. I have a 3 upstairs, a 3 downstairs. I got a 2 upstairs and a 2 downstairs. 61, 6 plus 1 is 7, so 3 does not go into 7, so 3 is not going to go into this. It's actually just prime. So let's just double check. Upstairs I have, it's not a 0, it would be a 1, right? 1 remaining. 1 times 5 times, so 5 times 61 over 4 times 1 times 2, so 4 times 2. I can't see anything else that can be cross-canceled. It's a lot easier to cross-cancel than it is to reduce your fractions. So since nothing else can be broken down, we've got 61 times 5, which is 305. And then 4 times 2, which is 8. So there is our answer. Okay, so example number 3 is, dividing mixed numbers. Okay, so this is how it's written in the book. When you copy down the problem, because of course you are copying down the problem, 3 2/3. You don't have to copy it exactly like this. What you can copy is 2 1/8 divided by, because this fraction bar just means divided by, right? 3 2/3. All right, so let's convert these into a mixed number. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 more is 17, divided by, or into an improper fraction. I think I said mixed number. I do that a lot. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 more is 11 over 3. Now, we can never divide fractions. We can multiply by the reciprocal. 17 over 8 times, so we're multiplying, and the reciprocal, just flip it around. 3 over 11, 3 over 11. 3, 11, and 17 are all prime numbers. 8 can be broken down into 2 times 2 times 2, and I don't see any 2's upstairs, so there's no point in breaking this down. Let's just multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. So 17 times 3 gives me 51 over 88. Okay, 51 over 88. Now, let's back up and talk about this really quick. We know that this is this garbage right here. Let's say I kept it as a fraction. 17 over 8, right? Because we decided. And then this is 11 over 3. 3 2/3 we decided was. So do you see how these are the same, right? The reason why we multiply by the reciprocal is if I multiply down here by the reciprocal, I get 3 over 11. This cancels out with this, right? But what I do on the bottom of a fraction, and remember this is my giant fraction bar here, I have to do that exact same thing to the top. 3 times 11. So do you see how I've multiplied by the reciprocal on both ends? That's just a different way of doing that. Okay, so example 4 says 4 1/8 divided by 2 1/5 times 3 1/4 divided by 4 1/2. Okay, these division, all this has to be fixed to an improper fraction. This times this plus this gives me 33 over 8 divided by 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 more is 11 over 5 times 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13 over 4 divided by this times this is 10 plus 1 is 11 over 2. So we're going to keep anything that's in front. So this is 33 divided or over 8 times, because we're going to change that, and you change whatever you're flipping at the end. So 5 over 11 times, we'll keep that, we'll keep this, 4. We're changing this, so we need to flip the one that's immediately after it. So 2 over 11. Okay, so with that said, let's see if we can cross cancel here. I know that this is going to be 33 times 11. I know that this is going to be 2 times 4. And then the rest of these are all prime, right? So 3, oh, I shouldn't have done that because I can't get rid of a 3. How about 11 and 11 cancel out? 2 and 2 cancel out. And what I have left is 3 times 5 times 13. 3 times 5 times 13. And then downstairs I have 4 times 11. I don't see anything else that can be canceled out. So let's do the math on that. 13 times 5 times 3 gives me, you see, okay, yeah, 195 over 4 times 4, which is 16, times 11 gives me 176. 176. So that is going to be our most reduced fraction. All right, guys, practice problems are on page 143. I want to see these at the top of your homework. Practice A. Go ahead and pause the video now. Do those practice problems. Come on back and make sure you got them right. All right, 4 1/4 times 8 over 9. So this times this is 16 plus 1 more is 17 over 4 times 8 over 9. This divided by 4 gives me 1. Divide this by 4, I get 2, right? So I can't cancel anything else out. So 17 times 2 is, 34 over 9. That's as good as it gets. B. 2 1/4 times 1 1/2 times 3 1/3. This times this is 8 plus 1 more is 9. 9 over 4 times this times this is 2 plus this is 1. So, or is 3 plus 1 is 3, I should say. Times this times this is 9 plus that is 10. So 10 over 3. All right, let's see if we can cancel out. Bam, bam, let's cancel that out. This is 2 times 5, right? So divide by 2, divide by 2. So those are all just ones that are hanging out there, right? So let's make sure I got this. 9 times 5 upstairs. And then downstairs I have 4 times 1 times 1, so just 4. It looks like I can't cancel anything else out, so 9 times 5 is 45 over 4. So that's going to be B. All right, so for C, we have 3 1/4 divided by 2 1/5. First things first, let's fix that. So this times this is 12 plus 1 is 13. 13 over 4 divided by this times this is 10 plus 1 more is 11. 11 over 5. Multiplied by the reciprocal, 5 over 11. Bam, bam. What I do on the bottom, got to do on the top, 5 over 11. Nothing can be canceled out on either the top and bottom there. So we have 13 times 5 gives me 65 over 44, because 4 times 11 will give us 44. All right, guys. Let's look at D. 4 2/3 divided by 1 1/6 times 2 1/3 divided by 1 2/3, just like that. All right, let's turn all these into improper fractions. This times this is 12 plus that is 14 over 3 divided by 6 plus 1 is 7, 7 6, times this times this is 6 plus 1 more is 7, 7 over 3 divided by this times this is 3 plus 2 more is 5 over 3. So we're going to keep all the stuff, and wherever we change a division, we change the fraction that's immediately following that. So that becomes, we flip it around, right? Times 7 over 3. I'm going to change this to multiply, so I'm going to flip this around. 3 over 5. All right, let's do some canceling out. 7 and 7, gone. 3 and 3, gone. This is 2 times 7, but I don't have a 7 or a 2 on the bottom, so we can just keep that as a 14. So what I have upstairs is 4, oh wait, I have 6, right? That's 2 times 3. Now I can cancel out this 3, okay? So upstairs I have 14 times 2, and downstairs I have all these 1s and then a 5. I don't see anything else that I can cancel out, so let's go ahead and 14 times 2 gives me 28 over 5. 28 over 5. All right, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on that next lesson. Thank you, guys.